you doing here? The hospital's evacuating.
We're here for Cora.
What, all of you? Why does Styles have my bag?
Mom, just trust me on this.
You don't have to keep me on a leash, Derek. I'm going to help.
Don't stop! Don't stop!
On to episode 10. Episode 10 was great, guys. I thought it was really good. The ending with Scott really upset me. Why did it upset me? Because it proved that Scott is just dumb. Oh my god. Like, when he just walks off with Deucalion, not talking to anyone, not considering any other options. Even Styles like, Scott, listen, don't go with him. We have plan B. We don't have a plan B this time. I was like, what are you talking about? Go talk with Derek. Go talk with Peter. Go talk with Allison's dad. Go talk. Go communicate. Go and make a plan. He doesn't. He just goes off with Deucalion. Let's help each other, Scott. Seriously, it was dumb. Like, I was like, you're just gonna go off with the bad guy, and you know what he wants. Like, you know, episode 9, when he talks with, you know, the guidance counselor. I loved that talk. I love the guidance counselor. Oh, God, amazing. This show has such amazing dialogue. Amazing dialogue. Amazing dialogue. But scenes like this, it's like, really, Scott is a moron. You just go off with the bad guy. You don't plan. You don't think. You don't talk with anyone. It's just like, oh, my God, my mom got abducted. Let's go make a plan. Let's go talk. Let's go try to figure out where she is, what she's planning, where she could be keeping them. And honestly, where she's keeping them is like the most obvious place to look. It seriously is. Like, when Scott's mom woke up and, like, we saw her sitting in dirt or whatever, I'm like, they're in the basement of they're in the cellar place where the roots are. And then it shows you, and I was like, yeah, that's where the tree is. That's where this whole thing's gonna go down. I knew. I was like, seriously, it's the most obvious place. But, like, Scott doesn't think about that. He doesn't go, he doesn't think, he doesn't plan, just immediately goes off with Deucalion. It's really, like, he's so dumb. Like, why? Listen to Styles. And Styles pieces all that together. Like, he immediately figures out that Jennifer is doing all this. Like, when they're in the car driving to the hospital, he's like, that look on Jennifer's face, like, everything was still going according to plan. You know, didn't you see that? And then Scott puts his face on. I was like, no, of course you didn't see that, because Styles equals genius, Scott equals confused. And then when Styles looks on the pad, it says parent or guardian, and then Styles is like, oh my god. It's not guardians as in, like, law enforcement or anything like that. It's guardians as in parents, as in legitimately guardians of, like, life, of children, parents. And he realizes this, and he runs to go find Scott because he immediately puts it together. He's like, oh shit, she's gonna go after Scott's mom. Like, Styles is just, he pieces everything together. He's a genius, and Scott needs to listen to him. Ever since that episode where Styles said, Scott, you're my brother, and all that, I've been waiting for an episode where Scott is just going to address the fact that Styles is amazing, and he's great, and he's lucky to have Styles in his life. Scott is lucky to have Styles in his life. And he hasn't touched on that at all. And because of that, it's like, it makes me want to punch Scott in the face. When he just went off with Deucalion like that, I was like, really? Really, Scott? Are you serious right now? So yeah, I'm worried about Scott because Scott is just dumb. And he's probably going to just do something for Deucalion that's going to... I don't know. And, you know, everyone finds out about the whole true alpha thing, where it's an alpha that can rise through his own will, his own strength of character. And Scott's like, listen, none of that matters right now. I was like, exactly, none of that matters. And that's why I was liking Scott. But then when that moment came, and he just walks off with Kaylee, and I was like, dude, literally, I know emotions are high, but you need to think. You need to think right now. Styles even tells him, Scott, stop and think. Like, seriously, Styles' dad's abducted, and he's kind of losing his shit. But is he running off with villains? No! He's staying put. He's piecing shit together. He's making a plan. His dad's in danger too, Scott. Alright? Follow Styles' lead. But he doesn't. He just goes off with the villain to do whatever the villain wants, so that they'll save the parents. You could argue that Scott had no choice, but Scott did have a choice. He could have stayed, he could have talked, they could have figured things out. And I think that the next person that Jennifer is going to kidnap will probably be Allison's dad. She's going to go after Allison's dad. All the adults are going to be in danger, but I'm really hoping that there's going to be an episode in the future where all the adults get together to save all the kids. When, like, Styles and Scott and Allison, they all get, like, abducted or whatever, and so Allison's dad, Scott's mom, and Styles' dad will have to get together and save them. I really hope that happens. Because that would be epicness. The beginning, when Jennifer gets there, and she's, like, trying to tell Derek, they're going to tell you things. They're going to tell you that I'm the one doing all this. I was like, Jennifer, give it up. It's just like, it's done with. It's no. You're caught. You're not fooling anyone. But she even knew she wasn't fooling anyone. That was all part of her plan. The whole backstory of Jennifer, I really enjoy it. I love how, again, everything is connected together. Like, Jeff comes up with the story of Derek and what happened with him and Paige, and it's tied into what's happening right now. When he killed Paige at the foot of at the roots of the tree, he kind of sparked the tree back to life, giving it enough energy to sustain Jennifer when she was first killed, because Jennifer was Kali's druid, her emissary, and they had to kill all the emissaries. But Kali loved her. She thought of her as, like, a friend or whatever, and so, she kind of clawed her up something fierce and just left her. And she even tells Deucalion, like, if you're asking if I heard her heartbeat, and it sounded like she was dying or whatever, but there was a chance that she could still live, and I had a choice to go back and finish her off or to walk away and leave her to die, I walked away. I was like, exactly, because there's a small, minuscule chance that she could have lived, and Kali kind of... I also liked that in a way because it shows that these alphas do have a conscience, but we know that from Ethan. So, ultimately, I enjoyed episode 10. I really liked it. I loved just, like, the dialogue, like Jennifer and Derek in the elevator when she talks about mistletoe and the backstory behind mistletoe. I knew about that because I've been researching, I've been reading about mistletoe and druids and stuff like that. So I already knew about the whole Norse myth about mistletoe with Loki and stuff like that because I really enjoy Norse myth. Norse myth comes right after Greek myth in terms of, like, my favorite mythoses. Mythoses? Whatever. It's like Norse myth comes right after Greek. And then Egyptian. But, whatever. So, yeah. I like that whole thing where she's talking to him. She's like, so mistletoe was overlooked. Just like we, the emissaries, were overlooked. And I made a promise back then when I survived that through healers, guardians, warriors, and all that other jazz, that I was going to have enough power and I was going to teach these monsters, to never overlook anything again. Or something like that. Like, that was all fantastic. And for him to say you've been killing innocent people, and she's like, oh, well, you look at your eyes, you have too. I was like, Jennifer, you need to shut your mouth, because that was a completely different scenario, completely different situation. It was a mercy killing. He was completely responsible for what happened with his deal with Ennis or whatever, but in the end, it was nothing like what you're doing. He wasn't killing people to gain power to go up against alphas. He killed the girl that he loved out of mercy because she was in incredible pain, and she was going to die anyway, so he just mercy killed her. It's horrible, but it did happen. And I love how she even says, like, you don't know how connected we are. It's because of you that I'm alive right now. And in the end, it's true. So do I think that she hooked up with Derek to kind of maybe get an alpha on her side for when she goes up against the alphas or something? I don't know. I think that she maybe legitimately had some sort of feelings for Derek, because there's no way that she could have set these events in motion with, like, Cora and Boyd going down to the basement, nearly killing her and all that. I think all that happened by happenstance, and then she met up with Derek and they built up a relationship. Aside from, the writers just putting that in there, even though it didn't really make a lot of sense because they wanted drama when it's revealed that she's the Drock. I do like that they made, the villain a female, the main monster who's been killing people, because it's been dudes the last 2 seasons, so it's strict now. And I like the scene where Kali goes to get her in the elevator and her eyes, and then Jennifer's eyes go white and just goes boom, and then like she just like sends Kali flying. I like that. It shows that she has a potential to become something really powerful, really dangerous for the Alphas. Also, I'm just going to mention this because it really grabbed me when I was watching. The twins, Ethan has better skin than Aiden. Because when they're walking down the hallway in episode 10 and they're talking and they're like, listen, we have to find her and we gotta kill her because if she really is sacrificing people to get enough power to stop us, we gotta stop her. And if you look, there's some, I'm not judging or anything because I have horrible skin. I do. Like, I have acne like crazy and stuff like that. I'm on the proactive train. I'm trying here. But my skin's awful. I got bad, horrible skin. And Ethan's skin is, like, really nice. And then Aiden's talking to him, and you can totally see, like, there's some bumps here, over there, places. Whatever, I'm just saying, like, that I really noticed that. Okay. I loved the plan they came up with, like, Jennifer's clonky shoes or whatever, where they're in the elevator, and, you know, with Isaac and Peter, and just everyone getting together to make a plan. I love seeing that. I loved it. And I loved seeing Peter genuinely concerned. Like, you know, hey, can anyone tell me when they're gonna get my niece out of here? Like, we're seeing that he's not the evil asshole he was back in season 1. He's actually changing and growing and becoming more attached to Derek and Cora, and I think he might actually care about them. And I want to see Stiles get paired up with Peter at some point, because that would be amazing. So yeah. That was amazing. I love seeing them all get together, and then, like, you know, Allison with her arrows, and Allison's dad with his guns. That was fantastic, and the Alphas just go running. Oh, loved it. Like, just everyone getting together to make a plan is great. And Deucalion, again, was letting Scott's mom go because he knew Jennifer was going to abduct her. It's all manipulation, like the guidance counselor said. You're here trying to figure things out, and he's 10 steps ahead of you. Like, Scott really going off with him like that? That's exactly what he planned this entire time. But he doesn't talk to anyone. He doesn't try to solve anything. He just immediately goes with Deucalion. You know his endgame. The guidance counselor told you, and you still think it's a good idea to just go off with him? You see what I mean? Scott, think. This was my favorite scene of the entire episode. When the twins grab Scott and they put him up on the wall, where is she? He's like, and they're like, we're trying not to hurt you. He's like, try harder. And then Scott's mom, I'd like to try something. Zoom! And she just freaking zaps them with the defibrillator. And they just go, and then they separate. They fall with her. Scott, come on! And she grabs him and they run. I was like, yeah! I screamed. That was so great. So amazing. I love Scott's mom. That was a great, epic, amazing scene. As I said, Stiles beating the twins over the head with a baseball bat. It would have been better if he actually hit them and they're like, ugh, and they actually like fell to the ground. And then he went to hit them again, and then they jumped up and they grabbed Stiles and they threw him or something. That would have been better, because it would have been like, holy shit, Stiles is badass. But when he smacks, the whole situation becomes just like, oh, comedic. And then, you know, Stiles has to like back up because he's just the human in the situation. Same thing with last season when, like, you know, Allison and Stiles tried to keep Derek and his crew from getting at Lydia or whatever. It's like they had to be rescued by Scott. It's like, why does that have to happen? Why can't Stiles actually knock a werewolf over the head with a baseball bat? Why can't, like, why? Why does it have to break? Why does Stiles have to cower? And I love how Stiles got all up in Derek's face. You know, it's like me? He's like you're the one whose ex-girlfriend turns out to be a murderer. Second one you've dated, by the way. I was like, exactly. Like, Stiles just gets in his face. He's not afraid to just, like, get in people's faces and stuff. It just kind of annoys me how, again, they just paint him like that. I'm really hoping that Stiles gets, like, an entire storyline dedicated to him in Season 4. Because in Season 3, we're still dealing with the Duroc and the Alphas and Scott and his drama and everything else. So I really hope that in Season 4, Stiles gets, like, a whole storyline, or at least, like, you know, the first 12 episodes, or whatever, dedicated to him and something that's happening with him. Maybe he's under some sort of supernatural threat. Maybe something happens with him. Whatever. I just dedicate it to him and to everyone trying to help him. And then, you know, maybe, you know, him. Stiles needs to be put to the forefront. Yeah. As for what's happening with Stiles, Lydia, and Cora, I'm really interested in that. I think that the show might actually develop a love triangle. I want to see girls fighting over Stiles, because Stiles is amazing, and totally, like, he is so, like, worth two girls fighting over him. I think a lot of you guys would agree. Because we see that episode where, like, Lydia is kissing him, and then, you know, there's been some some moments between him and Cora, and even in the ambulance where he's giving her mouth to mouth because she stops breathing, she revives, and he's like, oh, next time I put my lips to yours, you better be conscious. I was like, seriously, it was amazing. Episode 10 was epic. The ending with Scott making that stupid decision to go with Deucalion really upset me. Scott's mom is amazing. Styles was great. I really enjoyed episodes 9 and 10. Sorry about the late update. I got a new HD camera. It's amazing, and I love it. So, good luck and luck, good luck and luck. Comment, respond. What do you think is going to happen? What did you think of episode 9? What did you think of episode 10? Did you think that the awesome reveal with Lydia and Jennifer was great? I did. I'm really looking forward to what we're going to be getting from Lydia. So yeah, what did you think about the epic team-ups? What do you guys think? All right, what do you think is in store for what's going to happen with the mid-season finale? Personally, what I think is going to happen with the mid-season finale, I think that Scott's going to become an alpha. He's going to naturally ascend. I think that Derek is probably going to save Cora somehow. We hear Peter say that it's going to mean he's not an alpha anymore, which would suck, but as long as Derek's still alive and on the show and still a werewolf, alpha or beta, it doesn't matter, as long as he's still on the show and as long as he's still amazing and awesome and Derek-ish. I really hope that an actual two girls fighting over style situation happens. More Deethan. Scott may be mad, Styles may be happy, and everyone else, I was all smiles. So yeah, let me know what you think. Peace.